Hey guys, this is Fierce, and today I'm going to talk about the suicide lane. So let's define the suicide lane. The suicide lane is when you're soloing two or more heroes in the hard lane. For Radiant, that's the top lane, and for Dire, that's the bottom lane. So why should I suicide lane instead of doing the standard 2-1-2? Well, basically, you're going to solo the hard lane so you can send more heroes to the easy lane to create a free farm environment for your hard carry. Well, this is assuming that the person playing hard carry knows how to last hit. Yeah, good luck with that. So how exactly do you play the suicide lane? In this very specific order, these are the keys to suicide laning. No one expects you to win your lane, but they expect you to get farm and experience. It's a good idea to stay at the safety of your tower at the start of every game, just to scout out the lanes. A lot of times people will look to get first blood in your lane, so if you don't know where all the enemies are, just keep staying at your tower. If you know where they are, it's time to hide in the fog of war and try and get some experience. Sometimes I buy a Quelling Blade and hide in the trees so they can't find me, but it's probably not a good idea to do this on most heroes. As you can see, I'm in range of creep experience. If the enemy team has a no-one jungling hero, I will buy 2 or 4 sets of wards to block their camps depending on what the hero is. So the enemy team has a Life Stealer and a Nature's Prophet, so it's pretty much guaranteed that one of them is going to jungle. Normally I would just block 4 of the farthest camps, but I noticed it's a Life Stealer, so I leave him the hard camp and a medium camp, so I can just go and kill him later. It's also a good idea to check the rune at the very start of the game. You should learn how to suicide lane with at least 2 heroes, just in case someone takes your hero. These are just some of the heroes that can suicide lane, and I'm sure in the future there will be other heroes who might become viable in the suicide lane. So let's begin with Darkseer. Get Surge at level 1 and stand far away from the tier 3 tower. Cast Surge on the frontmost creep and run alongside it. Cast Surge again and now the lane should be in your favor. If you only get 1 surge off, sometimes it won't be enough. You have to get the 2 surges so that the creep wave starts out in tower range, so it pushes the lane to the safety of your tower. You're going to need to do this double surge technique 3 to 4 times during the laning phase, because you're also going to be using the double ion shell technique, which will push your lane out. Your first core item should be Arcane Boots or Soul Ring. Most people choose Soul Ring because it's cheaper. If you happen to be 1v1ing, you can cut the creeps off starting around level 4 after you finish Soul Ring. The enemy hero will have no choice but to tank the creeps if he wants CS. If you're lucky enough and you don't get rock golems, you can get additional farm at the medium camp behind the tower. After a while, he's going to be low enough that you can kill him with an Ion Shell Vacuum Surge combo. So here's the 10-minute benchmark. Level 5, Soul Ring, Ring of Health, 17 CS, and died only once. So for Broodmother, break the trees down so you can see any incoming ganks. You should constantly check people's items to look for wards or dust. If anyone new comes into the lane, check their items. If someone disappears into the fog of war and comes back into the lane, check their items. Get 2 points in web by level 3 and start spreading the webs everywhere. Get Soul Ring as soon as possible, and by level 5 you should have 3 points in spawn Spiderling. You can start amassing a Spiderling army, or you can spam nuke the enemy heroes out of the lane. You can use the Spiderling army to go kill neutrals, or just have them right click enemy heroes. Try your best not to feed Spiderling kills to your enemies because it will add up to a considerable amount of gold and XP. If the enemy heroes ever leave the lane or you somehow grab a hero kill, just kill the tower. If they ever put something retarded against you like a solo Beastmaster or double melee carries, just fucking kill them. Just fucking kill them. Broodmother is one of the best solo heroes for a good reason. So here's your 10-minute benchmark. 46 CS, 0 deaths, 1 tower kill. Here's another benchmark. 3 hero kills, 1 death, 39 CS, 1 tower kill. Just realize that some of the CS are neutral kills. But Fierce, I'm not as good as MTW Funzy. Okay, that might be true, but you're also not playing against NextKZ or Quantic. You need to at least get that 40 CS by 10 minutes, or your pub game is going to go very, very badly. So let's talk about Windrunner. Get Windrun at level 1 and try and grab some CS and experience. If things ever look bad, you could just Windrun away. Try your best to aim and time your power shots with last hits so that it will also damage your enemies. Power Shot has a really long range, so you can do it from the fog of war to harass your enemies. If you're still having trouble landing a power shot, time it while they're last hitting. If they want the last hit, they have to stand still during the attack animation. Sometime during the first night, you should buy a TP scroll so you can help your allies if necessary. So basically as Windrunner, you just power shot to harass and get last hits. Try not to die by using Windrun and buy a TP scroll. So here are your 10-minute benchmarks. 23 CS, 0 deaths. Here's another one. also 23 CS and 0 deaths. So let's talk about Beastmaster. As soon as the game starts, walk yourself to your lane and cut down the trees with your axes. Go back to the fountain and get back to full mana. Go to the Ancients and stack them. Get yourself an early pair of boots so you can run away from any incoming ganks. Time and aim your wild axes so that they simultaneously harass and get you last hits. Once you hit level 3, you should have 2 points used in Call of the Wild. Use your quill board to stack the Ancients for you. See how the game time says 3:51? That's your timing. The next time will be 4:51 and so on. So basically just keep stacking the Ancients as much as you can. You're pretty much going to get destroyed in the lane, but don't worry, the payoff is going to come soon. So here's your 10-minute benchmark. 8 CS, 1 death. That's actually terrible, but watch this. Work on your soul ring and just spam your axes at the Ancients. Use Tranquil Boots to regain that lost hit points. Rinse repeat. So he finally kills the stacks and managed to farm a Vitality Booster and another 1100 gold. He is also level 10, not too shabby. So for Nature's Prophet, get Nature's Call at level 1. Start off at the Rune area. Summon the Treants 10 seconds before the game starts. Bring the Treants right here, and then drag them through the jungle to the front of your tower. You're going to do this a couple times during the laning phase, because if you ever leave your tower, you're going to die. Also notice how the enemy hero has to tank the creeps when you do this. Now you can farm under the safety of your tower. You can also use your Treants to harass the enemy heroes or to scout for any incoming ganks. Remember when I said if you leave your tower you're going to die? This guy is trying to win his lane by harassing and getting a hero kill. It is not your job to win the lane as Nature's Prophet, even if it's only a 1v1. It's your job to TP gank and push towers. You might be thinking, but he's playing on a team. This is so much easier for him. Trust me, people in pub games don't defend towers until maybe 6 minutes into the game. Even then, it's still pretty rare for pub players to defend towers. A pretty nifty trick to use when pushing a tower is to use one Treant to pull the creeps away. The best part about playing Suicide Lane Nature's Prophet is that you can transition into being a jungler mid-game to catch up on farm, but don't forget that pushing towers and ganking is your first priority. So the 10-minute benchmark is 20 CS. You should have participated in at least 2 kills and taken at least 1 tower, preferably 2. So for Enigma, start with Demonic Convergence and use it on the ranged creep. Go back to the fountain and heal back to full mana. Send your Eidolons into the jungle to scout the person trying to kill you. Block the next wave as best you can and summon a new trio of Eidolons. Concentrate on denying and don't leave the safety of your tower. If you're against the dual lane, you will heavily outlevel them. If they try to zone you, you can use the Eidolons to just attack the support hero. Try your best not to feed your summons because they give a lot of gold when they die. Just like when you're playing Windrunner, you should buy a TP scroll before the first night and help your team if necessary. Enigma is obviously a huge asset for your team during a team fight. Once you become level 6, your solo kill potential goes through the roof. You should try to get 6 Eidolons before you try and kill anyone though. So your 10-minute benchmark should be around 40 CS and 20 denies. You should also have been a part of at least 2 kills. I'm not sure how I got 5 hero kills as solo Enigma in the hard lane, but you're probably not going to be doing this well. So for Weaver, you're going to skill W first, and your first core item is going to be Ring of Aquila. Spam your W to get harass and last hits. Just remember that you can use your W to dodge a lot of spells, but you have to time it correctly. Wait for your E to come off cooldown and save it to harass the enemy hero. Then use your W to damage the enemy hero. Come out of W for another auto attack, and that took off half his hit points. So it's pretty easy. Save E to harass the enemy hero, use W to harass even more, then kill the enemy hero. Remember that you can use time-lapse if the enemy heroes use dust on you, and you'll be back to being invisible. So your 10-minute benchmark, you're looking for around 35 CS without dying. So for Lich, if you're going to place wards, you have to place them immediately. Go back to the tier 3 tower and use sacrifice on one of the creeps. Depending on if it's safe or not, you're looking to get a second sacrifice on the same creep wave. If it's too dangerous, you can use it on the next creep wave. The lane will push out to your tower, so make sure you know how to last hit under the tower. You're going to scale E, Q, E in that order. At level 5, you can choose E or Q, but at level 3, it must be 2 points in E. Keep using E to deny creeps and keep spamming Q on the enemy carry. So your 10-minute benchmark. You should have around 40 CS. There's no reason you shouldn't even if the enemy heroes are denying creeps. If you're having trouble hitting this benchmark, you should practice last hitting under the tower in single player. Boogaloo only had 16 CS at 10 minutes, but he missed every creep under the tower. I would say that Lich is the only hero that is allowed to die in the suicide lane, as long as you kill the enemy carry. So, Lone Druid, you're obviously going to skill Q first, summon the bear as soon as the game starts and have the bear ready to draw the creeps through the jungle to the front of your tower. Do not ever leave your tower, you will die. If you want farm, keep dragging the creeps through the jungle to the front of your tower. Don't let your bear die or you won't get farmer experience. You should get an early stout shield for your bear just to increase his survivability. You should buy boots for yourself early too. Get an orb of venom for your bear so you can harass enemy heroes better. I like to have my hero hotkeyed to 1 and the bear on hotkey 2. I have both of them selected in hotkey 3. It's going to take a lot of practice to get used to this kind of micro, but Lone Druid is just one of those mid-game powerhouses and can potentially be a late-game destroyer with 12 item slots to fill. Your early game items are all very cheap, so buy them as soon as you get the gold. If you're doing well, I would buy Tranquil Boots and Phase Boots. If you didn't get both of them by 8 minutes, I would skip one of them and start saving for Sacred Relic. So your 10-minute benchmark, Solera has 32 CS by 10 minutes. That's not enough for Phase Boots, Tranquil Boots, and Orb of Venom, and Stout Shield, but very importantly, he didn't die once. So for Enchantress, it only works on the Radiant side, and you have to buy wards, and you have to place one of the wards right here. That ward is going to give you vision of the big camp, and then you take the big creep and you stick it in the support hero's face. And then you can also stick it right in the carry hero's face. Your first item is going to be either Power Treads or Arcane Boots. So keep grabbing the big creep, kill the little creeps, and then use the creep abilities to try and harass or get hero kills. If they try to kill you, use your Nature's Attendant. You should max your Nature's Attendants first. You're probably going to die once in the laning phase, but you're also probably going to get 1 or 2 hero kills. Just try your best, and again, it's going to take practice to micro more than one unit. Remember that I keep the hero on hotkey 1, the big creep on hotkey 2, and both of them selected in hotkey 3. So your 10-minute benchmark, I have 32 CS, 1 hero kill, and 1 death. Just realize that everything I said in this video are just guidelines and nothing I said is set in stone. Have fun playing the suicide lane, it's frustrating as fuck.